Working for you. A weekly talk radio program which highlights developments of national interest and the activities of your St. Kitts Nevis government. Join host Lesroy Williams as he presents news, views, reports, and interviews about everything regarding the activities of the Team Unity government and the building of our communities and the development of St. Kitts Nevis. Tune in and call in to interact with your government and share your views regarding the upward forward development of your community and our beautiful Twin Island Federation. Working for You is weekly, every Wednesday live from 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. on ZIZ Radio, Win FM, and Sugar City FM with rebroadcast on participating stations. Working for You.
A pleasant good afternoon. Welcome to today's edition of the St. Kitts and Nevis Information Service Program, Working for You. I'm your guest for today, Jacqueline Bryan, sitting in for Mr. Lesroy Williams, who is currently on vacation, and hopefully he'll have a restful and enjoyable vacation. On today's program, we're going to be taking a closer look at how the general post offices in St. Kitts and Nevis are hoping to expand and upgrade the postal services in the Federation, and the ways in which they have already begun to do so. We're doing this against the backdrop of World Post Day, which is recognized internationally on October 9th annually. So that would have been on Monday of this week. I'm happy to have guests from an area that's not always in the news and not always talked about every day or too many times in the year, but this is their time and their time to be highlighted. So I have with me guests from the general post offices in St. Kitts. Here in the studio, we have Postmaster General Dario Gill. He's joined by Deputy Postmaster General Mr. Darian Vieira and Assistant Secretary Mr. Brent Lapsey. We'll be joined by the Deputy Postmaster General for Nevis on the phone, Ms. Rhonda Williams. And hopefully we'll have a very lively discussion. We're going to talk about a number of challenges facing the postal industry, a number of new initiatives and the services that they currently offer, and how they are always transforming themselves to meet the needs of the public. So good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for being here. Now, World Post Day this year would have been on Monday, like I said. The theme for this year's observance was Transform to Remain an Enabler of Inclusive Development and an Essential Component of the Global Economy. So if you would be able to elaborate on the significance of World Post Day for us and tell us how it came about.
Okay. Good day, everyone. Dario Gill, the Postmaster General for St. Kitts and Nevis. Just a brief background on the World Post Day. World Post Day was established in the UPU was established in 1874.
And the UPU being the
Universal Postal Union.
Okay.
Okay. Then in 1969, at the Congress in Tokyo, it was decided that the Universal Postal Union would have a World Post Day, right, on the 9th of October, when the UPU was formed. Okay, so from 1969 onwards, we have celebrated World Post Day annually. This year, 2017, is the 143rd anniversary of the Universal Postal Union. The Director General, Mr. Bishar Hussain, as you mentioned, the theme, he spoke about the modernization of the universal, of the post offices internationally. Okay, and for the cycle 2017 to 2020, the cycle is about the e-commerce, trust towards e-commerce, which is very important in this day and age. The post office, we want to try and modernize ourselves in terms of the products and services that we offer. Okay.
So I understand that the General Post Office has activities to mark this occasion. Tell us about some of those activities.
Okay, well, on Sunday, we celebrated a church service at the Word of Life New Testament Church of God on Central Street. On Monday, we had our Customer Appreciation Day, T-shirt day. Okay. Yesterday, we had, we started airing tips, postal tips on the radio, and that should continue towards the duration of this week. We had a staff exchange today and tomorrow between us and Nevis, counterparts in Nevis. On Thursday and Friday, we're going to have a stamp exhibition at the post office in the hall area. Saturday, we have a fun day where we're going to go over to Nevis, have fun with our counterparts there. And then next week, Saturday, we're going to have a staff awards dinner at OTI.
The stamp exhibition, is it going to be on the particular theme, or are you using the same theme from World Post Day? Is it going to take a particular format?
No. You just basically, we're going to just be showcasing different stamps that we sell. So basically, they will come over from the Philatelic Bureau, which is part of the post office located in the Telecom Mall.
And how has the staff exchange day been going so far? Do you know how many persons you have from Nevis and how many were sent over from St. Kitts?
Okay, persons from Nevis came down, 3 persons from Nevis came down today, and then tomorrow now, persons from St. Kitts will venture over to Nevis.
Okay, so when we joined by Miss Williams from Nevis, I guess she can tell us how it's going on her end. Now, how many people work at the post office in St. Kitts? Are you able to say?
Roughly 50, yes.
Can you speak to the role of the post office in the lives of individuals and how important it is to doing business?
Well,
because this is the time to,
Exactly.
when you start to look at the post office and its role over the years and how it still remains relevant. So how important would you say the post office is to the public?
Well, basically, if you look at it in day-to-day life, the day-to-day lives of everyone, it plays an important part in terms of the social economic development. Anything from simply purchasing a stamp for a letter or for your passport, birth certificate, police record, or if you need to send a parcel overseas. We also have express mail service, US mailbox, which we'll speak some more about. So just in terms of the day-to-day operations of the post and what it brings to the social development, what it offers in terms of communication, a vital communication link between us and the outside world, plays a very important role.
Okay, well, let's talk about some of the services that you offer that would help to improve communication and the way people get things to one another. So let's talk about that in more detail. Where would you like to start about the services offered? We know about the traditional one in terms of posting letters. What else would you like to highlight?
We have services we offer, express mail service, parcel service, new on the scene, relatively new. It was launched in 2015. US mailbox service.
And how was that received?
Very well, very well. Right, of course, as you know, everyone is shopping online. That is the trend these days. Persons want things in an instant. So we decided a couple of years ago that would be the route we would take in terms of the US mailbox service.
So what does it entail? The express mail service is, I think when we were having a conversation prior to the show, you were saying it's comparable with some of the other people who offer the same?
Comparable, yes. FedEx, DHL, at a cheaper rate. If you don't mind, waiting a little while, a few days to get your package, you could use our service. But it's a very good service. It's been around for a number of years, so it is something that we intend to promote more of, to market more, so at least the public is aware that we have this service, that you have an option if, a cheaper option to FedEx, DHL, and you can get your package in a few days.
So this is if you have a small package that you'd like to send anywhere in the world.
Correct.
You can use the express
Universal
mail,
network, yeah.
and it would take a shorter time than if you send it regular mail.
Correct.
Okay. Does it offer a tracking service?
It does.
Oh, fabulous. So you wanted to also speak about the U.S. mailbox service that you have. It's called PAC?
GPO pack.
GPO PAC.
Yes. That was launched in October 2015, coincide with World Post Day. I would let Mr. Lapsey.
Yes,
speak
Mr.
some
Lapsey, this is
more
your
about it.
this is your area.
The GPO pack, it gives you opportunity to have a US address. And it also helps if some companies don't ship to this part of the world. So with your US address, you're able to ship your goods here. Basically, it's a one-time fee of $100 sign up, and we will give you the US address, and you can just go online and just order stuff immediately. What it is, we partnered with a company in Miami, a shipping company, and we ship 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Fridays. So when your goods get to the warehouse, you get a notification via email to tell your goods are there, and then if they're there, say by midday before the shipping there, then they will get there on that day. If not, they will get there the next shipping day. But it's twice a week, Tuesdays and Fridays we ship. We also offer the service also by ocean. If you may have heavier stuff, we also offer by ocean.
Well,
We have over 2,000 customers at this point.
really? Locally?
Yeah, so if you
Over 2,000 customers
Yes.
locally
so
have
if you-
signed on to your GPO PAC
Yes.
service. Wow, that is tremendous. Now, it's interesting that you said you would have been operating with a company out of Miami.
Yes.
And we know that that area took a pretty hard hit this hurricane season. How was the service affected?
It was affected probably maybe about 2 weeks, because the way the warehouse is, the lost power for a while. There was flooding in the area as well, and there was down trees. But even after they got up and running, there was a situation where the airport still wasn't open in Miami. So that also brought delays, not only to our service but to other services here as well.
Now tell us, how can we sign up for this GPO PAC
Yes,
service?
you can come into the office you pay $100 sign up, one-time fee, and then we will issue you the US address, and you can immediately go online and order your stuff.
Is that simple?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. I'm fascinated by this service. I'm fascinated by how many people would have signed on. I guess they consider it something easier why you would have had so many clients. And you
Yes.
find that the people have appreciated the service. Did you go through any teething pains when you just offered it, because it would have been something new that the post office is venturing into?
It was new for us, but not new to the persons, because they have other companies that are doing the same thing.
Yes.
So persons find that our rates were competitive, and they came on board. And now we're just working to make sure we keep those customers and improve our service.
Do you have plans for improving the service that you can reveal right now?
Well, we are trying to make it more paperless. So cut down the waiting time of customers. So and we are working with customs and doing some training as well. So we are very close to them in terms of doing the Asicota training, and so when you come in, everything will be up and running for you, everything calculated so you wouldn't have to be waiting so long. You get out as quick as possible. We're working also on that. We also had discussions about having notifications via your smartphone.
Really?
Those are things we had discussions on, and we'll see how well we can get those into play in the near future.
I'm happy you brought that up because that's going to become really important later on when we're talking about the changing environment the post office is operating in and how it's really trying to transform itself to meet the changing demands of the public. So this service that you're offering has been well received so far, and I think it's interesting that public service like the post office is trying to be competitive with companies that operate in the private sector. So that is it shows that it's a very savvy organization.
What I'll say to that is that delivery mail is our business, has been our business for years, so I would say the private companies is the one who came into our business.
You sure you shouldn't be marketing, Mr. Lapsey?
Delivery mail.
All right.
I think they probably took a chapter out of our book and they probably improved on it. So now we're just trying to get back into what we do.
So once you sign up and you pay, you get an account, you get an address.
Yes. The reason why we're discussing via smartphone because we found that even when we made changes and we send out notifications, even though we sometimes use LAZ to get the word out and we use the email address, that persons don't even check the emails like that often. They usually get on their phone, they order something, and that's it. They don't really go into the emails much, so probably to check to see if they get a notification to say the stuff reach. So we realized that we wasn't reaching everybody, so we had a discussion and we said maybe we might have to move in that direction, getting more alerts via the phone, like you have a package arrived at the warehouse and also have it tracked to see where it is.
You made a reference just now to customs, and I know before, when you received the package, you could have gone to the post office to pick it up and have customs check it there. I'm told that that has changed. Is that a part of how you're hoping to improve the service, or was there another reason for that?
It was customs made the decision. It's part of risk management, so they wanted to have everything centralized there. So they used to be in the office, but now they have moved away. So they're on site. They're gonna examine everything. So when you get to the office, even you get out fast, you already know what you have to pay. Your duties already calculated. You come in, you just pay, and you just leave. Rather than you'll be waiting for somebody to go through your stuff and assess some duties and everything. So it would improve the customer waiting time to get out of the office as well.
So even though customs isn't based at the post office anymore, you can still just go to the post office and pick up your...
Yes.
And it decreases the waiting time, like I said, because once you go, you don't have to wait for somebody to open it and check it, and you just pay all your taxes and you leave.
Yes.
Fabulous. I'm told that we have Miss Williams on the line. She's the Deputy Postmaster General at the Nevis Post Office. Good afternoon, Miss Williams.
Hello, good afternoon.
How are you?
Hello.
Hello, can you hear us?
Hardly.
Okay, hopefully we'll be able to adjust the volume. Miss Williams is the Deputy Postmaster General from the Nevis Post Office, like I said. And they too are celebrating World Post Day, but I'm told that they do it in a different way to St. Kitts, and their activities actually run for the entire month. Is that so?
Yes, that is definitely so. We take the time out to offer these activities or plan these activities over the month in commemoration of October 9th, World Post Day.
So tell us about some of those activities.
Okay, today we are having Customer Appreciation Day as we speak, along with T-shirt Day, where all the members of staff are expected to wear their shirts. And
Mr. Gill would have told us that you're hosting some of the postal workers from St. Kitts.
Yes, that's correct. On October 14th, that is this coming Saturday, we are going to be having an island tour for our colleagues from the St. Kitts Post Office. And along with that, we're going to be having Fun Sports Day, where the staff of the Nevis Post Office and those of St. Kitts will meet to have some fun. On the 16th to the 20th, we'll be giving gift presentations or making gift presentations to the senior homes on Nevis and the prison farm. On the 26th of October, that would be a day for the staff of the post office on Nevis. We'll be having a staff quiz competition and a staff retreat. On that day, we'll be learning, we'll be trained so that we are up to date with the demands of the post office. On the 30th of October, we intend to launch a digital advertising by a monitor at the post office in Nevis. And on the 31st, we'll be recognizing our frequent users of the service and also outstanding postal staff. We are presently displaying our postal traditional items along with modern ones that we are using right now, and that would go until the end of October. And on the 4th of November, we'll be bringing down the curtains with a gospel concert. It's really a benefit concert which would proceed in aid of postal services in the region affected by the hurricane.
I had asked Mr. Gill this question, but I really want to hear how you feel about it. What do you think, or what would you say is the role of the post office and how important it is to doing business?
What is the
role of the post office in the lives of individuals and in doing business?
Well, the post office has been here to link the world from way back when, so that persons are able to communicate not only by a traditional means, but now we have high demands for shopping online. That is something that is growing, and so not just for individuals but for businesses, so they can come to the post office and do whatever they have to do in regards to communicating with the outer world.
How many people work at the post office in Nevis?
In Nevis,
Yes.
we have presently 27 on staff.
Okay, fantastic. Can you speak to us about the U.S. mailbox service? We had Mr. Lapsey elaborating on what the service is and how easy it is to get a U.S. mailbox. How has it been received in Nevis, and to what extent would you say it's being utilized?
Well, the U.S. mail service, as I mentioned before, in terms of ordering online, that is something that a lot of young people, middle-aged, and to some extent the elderly, and it is going well. We have one or two minor challenges in regards to delays, but I guess we'll get those worked out in the not too distant future.
And the express mail service, is that something that was well received in Nevis and is being utilized as well?
Excuse me?
The express mail service, is that something that is also, you find that the public is really taking advantage of?
To a certain extent, what we find happening is that persons, tend to be more on the modern side of doing things, and so yes, there are persons who still use express mail, but in my mind, it seems as though that they are geared towards using the U.S. mail service.
I know today is a really busy day for you, so before you go, I'd like you to just tell us about some of the major challenges your staff has to tackle on a day-to-day basis in the execution of their duties.
Can you repeat that, please?
What are some of the challenges that your staff has to deal with, some of the major challenges you face on a day-to-day basis in doing the job that you have to do?
Okay, first of all, the postmen, we all know that they deliver mails on a daily basis to our residents, and we have been experiencing dog attacks, and so we would like to encourage the general public to consider placing a mailbox on the outside of their property so it is easily accessible, and at the same time the postmen, they are, safe and secure while delivering the mail, especially from dogs. We also sometimes experience issues when persons are doing business with us at the post office. In most cases, they are required to present IDs that will give authorization and so on. We are still experiencing some challenges in that. Persons will come and they would indicate, well, I don't see the reason why we need an ID, etc., etc. But it is important, especially in these times, for security purposes. I would like to highlight it is an issue in some way. Persons are encouraged to desist from placing money, like cash, into envelopes to move from one place to the next. We have a service referred to our money order service, and we would like to encourage the general public to use that service and desist from placing cash and even checks into envelopes.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Ms. Williams. And all the best with your Customers Appreciation Day.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
No problem at all.
That was Miss Rhonda Williams. She is the Deputy Postmaster General at the Nevis Post Office. So she's having a very busy day, but I'm happy she was able to fit in our little segment and let us know what's happening with the post office over there. So seeing as she ended by speaking about some of the major challenges the Nevis Post Office has to deal with, we can continue our discussion with some of the major challenges, Mr. Gill, that you and your staff have to deal with here.
Well, I would say I would like the Deputy Postmaster, Mr. Damian Veros,
Mr. Vera.
speak about that.
Good afternoon to everybody who's out there listening in Radio Land. The post office is a unique business. The post office is one of the oldest form of business. We've been around for a long time, and without a doubt we have the biggest scope of customers, locally, internationally, and regionally. Our business spans throughout the world, right? And the post office is here to stay. I would just want to let everybody know that. But in order for us to be more relevant and efficient at what we do, we would like to encourage some of our local customers to help in that aspect. For example, we've been experiencing a lot of complaints that the postmen, post ladies come back on their route, access to persons who don't have mail receptacles on their gates, on their property, businesses as well. We would like to encourage persons, businesses, residential persons to get some mail receptacle and just put it outside their property, so the postman don't have to go into your yard and get bitten by your pets, your cats, your dogs and stuff like that, So we like to encourage you guys to get a mail receptacle. That will help in the efficiency of his work. He will just be able to just come and drop the mails in and move on, right? We also, when persons, we have a number of complaints of persons who move out of areas and they don't go to the nearest post office to fill the form of address change their address. They move from, say, St. Peter's, and they're now living in town, and the postman will go there and he will just realize that the residential building is empty. So we like to encourage persons to, when they're moving, to come into the post office and fill out the change of address form. Right? They can do that in the post office in town, or they can go to the nearest post office throughout the countryside. Right? So those are two critical issues we've been facing when it comes to our mail operation sector. Right? I would like to touch on one more thing. Our businesses, we have a lot of corporate partners out there. And from time to time, we will call them and give them indication to update their database when it comes to the address of their customers, because in order to cut down on the return mails and also help them save a little money as well, because when the mail reach and the person have left the island or the person is no longer living in that area or dead, deceased, for stronger order. So we like to encourage businesses to update their database. That will help in the efficiency of delivering their mail and cut down on the return mails as well. Right?
So you have a large quantity of mail that's returned to the post office?
Sometimes we have a large quantity of mails we have to return back to our businesses, because person is no longer on island, or person is no longer living in the area and they never came to the post office to change their address, or for whatever sad reason the person has deceased, right? So those are some of the things we are also experiencing. And persons who will go to a business and put their address and have an alias instead of their full name and stuff like that. We like to encourage businesses to a proper address, name of the person, and the address where they live, Station Street, Sandy Point, instead of just Sandy Point, because they, for one reason or the next, an individual might just finish with school today and they go into the bank and they will apply for a card, right? And it's relatively a new student. That's the first mail, and they will just have Jim Carey, Sandy Point, and the postman might not be aware who Jim Carey is in Sandy Point. If you could say Jim Carey Station Street, that will eliminate the fact that the postman might have to send it back, or they could just go and ask somebody in Station Street a question or two, right?
Do you find that most of the users of the traditional postal service, where you have to mail physical letters and paper, are more individuals or companies?
Well, we have individuals. We have businesses send out a lot of receipts and stuff like that to their customers. So we have a lot of individual mail, and we have businesses sending information to businesses. So we have a fairly good scope of mails that goes from business to business or from business to customers. Right?
Now, I'm happy you spoke about the changes of address and sometimes the difficulties post personnel would have in finding where someone lives, because we can move straight into the postal code system that was launched on World Post Day in 2016, I believe.
Okay.
So tell us more about that. That was introduced, I think, to help solve some of the issues he was talking about with people's addresses and finding where they live, yes?
The postcode system, or zip code, that persons will be aware of, it was, as you said, launched in 2016, October 2016, on World Post Day. It is essentially a postal address system. It uses a unique identifier that identifies the addressee's location and assists in the transmission, sorting, and delivery of mail items. Okay, it uses a sequences of numbers and letters. Persons might ask why a postcode zip code.
That was the first question that came to my mind.
For St. Kitts and Nevis, because we are small islands. We we thought that, well, going forward, that it was important to bring on stream the postal code system because of, we're part of the global economy, and the way it's going these days in terms of information, communication, where mails, letters being delivered, that they are delivered in an efficient manner. You have a proper addressing system in place. Okay. There are a couple other islands that use the postal code system, Anguilla, Montserrat. Basically, the postal code system would break down the different postal zones, right, for St. Kitts and Nevis. For St. Kitts, the postal zones would start from Bastia, 01, KN. KN is the designation for St. Kitts and Nevis. So 01 would be the postal zone, and then going westward, All Road 02, Sandy Point 03, Tabernacle 04, going straight down to Keon 06. In Nevis, the postal zones would continue 08 to 012. Those would be broken down in terms of the parishes in Nevis. Okay. Now, the delivery districts now, in terms of the delivery of the mails, the postman, post lady, depending on how large that delivery district is, you may have two postmen, post ladies delivering mails in that area. Okay. So in terms of for example, just to give an example of postal zone, okay, you will have, for example, a John Doe living at Fern Street, Greenlands, Bastia, St. Kitts. The zip code, postal code would be KN, so that's the designation for St. Kitts and Nevis. Postal code 01, delivery district 01, so it will be 0101, KN 0101, and that would come at the end of the address. So what we intend to do is have more awareness, more marketing information disseminated to the public about the postcode system, so that persons are sensitized about the postal codes. We'll have it electronically on the government portal as well, so the information is there, so persons can look up the postal code for a friend or family living in a particular area in St. Kitts or Nevis, St. Kitts and Nevis.
Okay, well, we're at the segment of the program where we can take calls if you have a call you'd like to ask. And the numbers for overseas callers is 718-577-2916. And if you're calling locally, you can dial 465-2555. If you have a question you'd like to put to any of the members here about the postal code system, about their services in general, or maybe one of the specific services, he spoke about the express mail system, the U.S. mailbox system, or maybe you have a suggestion as to how access to your premises and your residence can be improved, then you can call to make suggestions as well. The gentlemen are here and they're open to hearing your calls. So the numbers again are 718-577-2916 for overseas persons who are listening to our program. And locally, if you're calling locally, 465-2555. Now, I wanted to share with you a quote from the head of the Universal Postal Union, and he said, "It is important to constantly remind ourselves of the role that posts play in our societies today, because some trends are turning our world upside down. I see 4 main developments in this regard. Firstly, internet pervasiveness is growing year on year, transforming the ways in which citizens interact, communicate, and do business. Secondly, customers in all industries are becoming even more demanding. In this age of digital and mobile technology, we want things right here and right now, and we want choice and control. Thirdly, e-commerce and light logistics are exploding, growing at double-digit rates in most regions. And fourthly, after years of sluggish growth, the world economy and international trade are finally getting back on track." And in light of this, I wanted to ask, how has the post office sought to reinvent itself, embrace digitalization, and develop new products and services in order to meet this changing landscape?
Okay. As we spoke about, the U.S. mailbox service was one initiative to deal with the growing trends in terms of e-commerce. Persons, as you're aware, everyone is online, shopping online, a lot of online consumers, and it was seen as a way for the post office to tap into a new revenue stream. With the decreased mail volumes, letter posts, obviously with the internet, computer usage, we have to look and see how the post office can reinvent itself and be more modernized and up to date with the services that are available for the consumers. Besides the U.S. mailbox service, we are hoping to look at in the next couple of years, next year or so, money orders. Right? Yes, there are a couple services here that offer money orders, but we feel that we are, being the post office, we are the perfect entity to offer that service. We offer postal orders, international postal orders. So in terms of a service where the consumers can come and send money internationally, we have the postal network globally. So it's already there. So that is something that in terms of e-commerce, we want to tap into.
So basically, you're trying to position yourself to be here forever, like Mr. Vera said you would be.
Yes.
You want to add, Mr. Lapsley?
Yes, I'd like to add to that. We find happen some of the problems is that the post office in St. Kitts we might put all these things in place, but then the post office in Anguilla, Dominica, they might not be doing the things we're doing. For example, say you have express mail tracking, we're doing everything here. And then you might send something to Dominica and they don't have that service. So it's hard for you to track to see where your item is because the other partner's not doing it. So now what happened now, the UPU now has set out some a training module, as Mr. Gill mentioned before, from 2017 to 2020. So instead of just it's just like offices on their own going and doing certain things, they have put together a whole training package to get everybody on board. So what this does is it offers end-to-end tracking. So if you send us, so they set different training, they offer technical support and also training in collaboration with the World Customs Organization and the International Civil Aviation Organization. These three partners, what you'll find happen is if you post something from St. Kitts to say somewhere in Europe, you should be able to like track your package from the time it leaves the post office in St. Kitts. So it goes to the airline in Liat from here to Antigua. Then if it goes from there to UK and then to the area in Europe, into customs and out for delivery. So it's a way of knowing where your package is because of as we say, e-commerce is growing, and for us to be a part of it, we have to position ourselves. If you use the post office to send your stuff via e-commerce, the stuff that you order, at least we could guarantee you that it will reach to the destination in a timely manner, and we will be able to track it for you. Because I just see people want their things now, and they want to know where it is. So this training initiative is a global training. So each country with a post office, they will have to be, everybody's on board. So by 2020, it will be one global network, and any post you go to, that you can get the same service, and you can track your stuff from end to end.
Okay.
So for now, there only one module has been launched along just to get you ready for e-commerce, and as the training goes along, everybody will come on board. So one of the training is to do with mail transportation.
Well, I don't mean to cut you, Mr. Lafsey, but we have a call.
Okay.
So before we lose our caller, we'll want to hear what they have to say. Welcome to Working For You. Good afternoon.
Welcome to me. Good afternoon, Jackie.
Good afternoon.
Lord, I miss you, but I catch you back. And good afternoon to your team there with you.
Good afternoon.
Now, with the knowledge increase in technology, we have we know that the postal service would have come in for stiff competition. Because with this online and log on and all kind of thing, everybody getting things in a more efficient and cheaper way. But I have a suggestion for the postal service. Why not get into the money wiring business? So that instead of people going to some of these money institutions to pick up the money that was wired, they could come to the postal service too. So that's a suggestion I have for the postal service. Get into it, so that people could go and collect money there, just as how they would go to some of these things. And next thing again, in the postal office, what I will suggest to people who are going to send a mail to the post office, they must take the time and write whatever they're going to write, if possible, in black letters. Because some people, they might go write a word, nuts, N-U-T-S, but the upright in front and the end is so long it looks like a H, and that would give the person who delivering the mail a problem. And whereas if they're going to write a H, sometimes the upright is so short it look like an N. So if they write in black letters and take the time, then it would be easier for the person who's going to deliver the mail to the person. Because when you go in there and you look in the miss sort, the amount of letters in there, that is 3 postman work. So we got to be careful and put ourselves in the person who's going to deliver the mail, and see that we don't give them any problem or any difficulty to understand what is written on the letter.
Okay.
So those are my two suggestions.
Thank you so much. We welcome your suggestions. But maybe, Mr. Gill, for the benefit of the call, you can just reiterate what you said about the intention of the post office to actually do that kind of business.
Yes, I did speak about that, mentioned that earlier. That is something that we are looking at in terms of electronic money transfer. So, hopefully in the next couple of years or so, that will be something that the post office offers as a service for our customers.
Okay. Did you finish your point, Mr. Lafsey? It was a very interesting point.
I was just finishing up saying that the aim of the postal network globally is to provide end-to-end tracking for all classes of mail, actually. So that is the aim by 2020. So you could, even a regular mail, we could track the dispatch and everything.
So do you have timelines for when you think that might actually roll out?
Different services have different timelines. Like for the IPS.post, That will provide most of the end-to-end tracking. We have to get that on board at least by the first half of next year.
Oh.
Yes, and then the different countries have different issues. So some are more behind than some. Like for example, for the US now, they're already using that post. So sometimes you will find customers will come in and say, well, I know my package is in transit to St. Kitts because that post tracks it all the way from the time it leaves. So they know it's on its way because they're using that post because it's linked with the airlines and also with customs. So the airlines will also scanning the information as well and also customs. So that's what I was saying before. Some countries using it now, but by 2020 everybody should be using the same system and you can track globally at any post office globally. So that is one of the things, but for us we are not pretty far behind in terms of certain things, so hopefully we should be finished before 2020.
You just made reference to dot post, yes?
Yes.
Now, I first came across that in the address by Minister Ian Liburd, who is the Minister of Post in the local administration, the Team Unity administration, and he said that that was a part of the upgrades that the post office was going to be going through from IPS Lite to IPS dot post. I had no idea what that meant, so I had to call Mr. Gill. So could you share with our listeners what that upgrade is and what it means for the service? You hinted to it just now, but if you could start from the IPS Lite that you're using now to what you're going to upgrade to.
IPS Lite, it offers basic track and trace. So from the time the item comes, we can enter it, and the post office on the other end could see, well, we have an item coming from the information. Once they have IPS as well, and but after the item leaves here, the information you get in it kind of come to you until it gets to the post office on the other end. But now with IPS dot post now, it tracks the package from end to end. So you will know it's at the airport in St. Kitts. It's on the airline at St. Kitts. It gets to another airline. It gets to customs in another country. Then it gets to the post office till it's out for delivery. So it offers end-to-end tracking. But for IPS Lite now, it just offers track and trace. Also with dot post, you put in the information for, like, if it's a commodity, you have to put in what's the contents and everything. So also this information also goes to customs as well. So it's like they will know before the item come here, they will know what they're expecting, and what is coming in, and if it needs duty to be assessed. So that will cut down everything. So if it's an item that customs don't want to look at, it'll just go straight to the end customer, because the information will also be in the custom database as well.
Oh, so that too should improve efficiency.
Yes.
But that sounds pretty interesting. We're almost out of time. We're running up close to the 3 o'clock hour when the program comes to an end. So if you still have a suggestion or a question for the gentlemen who are here, you can dial the overseas number, which is 718-577-2916, or the local number, which is 465-2555. I wanted to talk about trends. I don't know if you have any additional statistics you could share, but what are some of the trends that you are seeing locally with regards to the use of the postal services?
In terms of there's a downward trend in mail. There are less mail now. People are using their smartphones. Some businesses are offering payment online, bill payment online, so not using more. People going more paperless. But what we find out now, there's a spike in small packages because of e-commerce. People are ordering stuff more rapidly for functions, weddings. We have graduations and different functions and so forth. So with the increase in e-commerce and the more packages, it's more business for us, and it also on a whole it's more business for the customs as well because their duties. So it's beneficial not just for the post office, it's for the whole government on a whole because there's more revenue coming in. So therefore, even though there's a spike down the mail, we are bringing in more revenue because there are more small packages coming in. So it's still balanced out for us, even though there was a down in delivery of mail. So as a post now, we have to position ourselves to get ready to meet these demands.
That's a very interesting point to note. I'm sure people may not have even taken that into consideration, because when you think of the post office, even though you have the GPO pack service, I think people still pretty much think physical, small letters. But it's interesting to know that even though that is on the decline with the use of technology and how people can express themselves better using instant messaging services, that you have this other aspect now that's come on stream, and you're seeing an uptick in that area.
Yes.
Fabulous. So moving forward into the future, especially Mr. Vera, who said that the post office is going to be here forever, what are some of the things that you'd still like to see?
Well, one of the things I would like to see in the near future is when persons constructing homes, they take into consideration implementing a mail receptacle, right, on their outside of their house. One of the things we are planning to do soon is parcel delivery. As e-commerce increase, we will soon be delivering parcels, right? And people have to take into account soon, just like in the US, you come home from work and you see a little package from maybe Amazon or eBay. Soon it'll be the same thing here. We'll be delivering packages to your homes and stuff like that. So we encourage our residents to be aware of that, right?
I feel like we're getting inside information right now, you know. That sounds
Yes.
major.
Yes, so we're planning to do that. You know, that's one of our milestone. We're planning to start delivering parcels.
Would that be for local mail, or would it also be used with your GPO pack service? So if I order stuff online, then customs checks it and calculates my taxes or whatever one time, and then the post office is now looking to save me the hassle of going to the post office to pick it up. They'll actually drop it off at my house.
Yes, drop it off at your house, whatever address you might put, because you know some people don't they work 8 to 4 jobs, so probably they prefer to drop it to the jobs and stuff like that. So the address that you put to deliver it will soon be able to do that, right? And as you know, we have the post office has a range that is first and second to none. We have we know most of the persons on the island, our postmen, our drivers are well trained, very experienced persons. They have an idea of the layout of their zones and stuff like that. So finding a home is not a difficult task. Knowing where businesses is not a difficult task. So that is not something that we will have a problem with, right? We're already in the mail delivery business, and delivering parcels is just added value to offer to our customers. And we do appreciate your persons out there who continue to use the post, and we are trying our best to stay relevant, right? And this year, for our 2017-2020 cycle, the UPO has encouraged us to focus more on e-commerce, and we're doing that. And parcel delivery and parcel track and trace is part of our initiative.
What about you, Mr. Gill? What do you see what do you want for the post office in the future and the postal services it offers?
Well, as the Director General's mentioned in his message, basically the trust towards e-commerce, bringing new services on stream that better reflect the times, and in terms of the post office being relevant, so it would be something that 50 years from now, 100 years from now, persons are still using services at the post office. It is still relevant, it is still keeping up to the times with changing demands.
Well, fantastic. It's going to be interesting to see when, probably, hopefully, if the program still continues 10 years from now, where the post office is then compared with today, because especially with the use of technology, things are changing so quickly, and you introduce a new system today and in a matter of years it's outdated or it's not as efficient as it used to be. Do you feel a lot of pressure operating in this kind of environment? It's uncertain and it's fast paced, and when you think you've got the answer to a particular challenge, then the challenge changes on you, even maybe before you're even able to implement something properly.
Well, if you could recall, when the telephone was invented, was saying that's the end of the post office. Person will no longer have to write letters. They could just make a call and deliver a message. I'm still here. With the invention of emails, person say, okay, that's the end of the post office for sure. And we're still here, right? As technology increase, as technology advance, we will stay relevant. We will try to work with technology to push the postal service, right? With the increase of smartphones, where a person can be on a bus and order something, or on a bus and pay their bill, and they would like the receipt. At some point, they would need the post office to deliver that receipt or deliver that beautiful dress they order online. So we are here to stay, and we will find a way to stay relevant.
And are you finding that those ways are also attracting younger people?
Yes. We have a number of persons, young persons, who have signed up for our US mailbox, and the feedback we are getting from them is that our service is very reliable. We have quite a quick turnover with our stuff. When they reach to Miami, once your invoice is uploaded to the site, the next available flight, your stuff is on the next flight to St. Kitts, right? And now that customs, we have the operation where customs check this stuff, and you can just come pick up and pay. It's even better, where we had persons who were a little bit frustrated when they have to come and wait for their package to check. They can just now come, package, they upload their invoices, they come pick up their stuff, pay at the counter, and they're out the door. And a lot of young persons like the fact that they can do that, because young people are more about being fast, swift. They like things here and now, and that is one of the things that we say that we are proud of, that we offer that.
A reference was made to it before, and I didn't get a chance to ask about it, but I was asked to ask this question, and I thought it was a very interesting question, because when it brought it to my attention, I said, not even I knew about that. The use of stamps in doing business. And I think you were explaining to me about stamp duty. Why is it that when you go to pay a bill or you have a particular transaction to do, they always ask you to buy a stamp?
Well, stamp is a government tax that for sale of goods, when you're to complete a receipt, you'll have to put a stamp on the receipt to show it's valid, and based on the value of the good, you put a stamp to signify the amount, right? So stamp duty is one of the things that we have, and also we have, when you're going to collect your passport, instead of cash, you get your stamps. You take the stamps to the passport office, and next day you have your passport, in the next couple of days. It's a way of controlling the monies, right? One place. You want to get your birth certificate, you go to the post office, pay the money, get the stamp, show it's like a form of receipt that you go and you give it to them and say, okay, I paid my duty to get my police record, my birth certificate, my passport. You know, it's just a way of controlling revenue. It's one centralized area. All right.
That's something I took for granted. I never really
Yes.
questioned it. I always know that you have to go and get a stamp and never know why.
Yes, and remember when persons give you receipts, they should have a stamp on the back of it to show it's a valid receipt. Without that stamp on that receipt, that means they haven't paid their stamp duty,
Which is required.
which is required
By
for all,
law.
for all receipts.
All right, gentlemen, we're pretty much at the end of our program for today. Any parting words that you'd like to say before we wrap up? Well, in wrapping up.
Well, I'd just like to thank all of our customers out there who stick by us through thick and thin, and we just like to thank you for your services, persons who continue to use the post office and use our services, our new and our old services, for less of a word. So just thank you guys, and we appreciate your business.
Mr. Lapsey?
The same thing. I'd like to thank everybody for choosing the post for the everyday life business, everyday people, and also the businesses as well. And to say to them that we're happy for their business, and we are doing everything we can to get their mails and packages to the end user and also the incoming ones to the users as efficient as we can. We are working very hard on improving our service. And I know you might say the post is behind, but we are really doing the best we can to do with the tools that we have. But I can assure you that in the next couple of years you will see a great improvement in our services and our businesses. So just stick with us, give us some time. We're working very hard to improve our service, not just locally, but internationally and regionally.
Mr. Gill?
Yes, Ms. Bryant. Well, as we celebrate our Gold Post week of activities, I like to remind the public of the importance of the post office in terms of the transmitting of your mail, in terms of the social, economic development, and persons might not give much thought in terms of when you receive, when you deliver mail, but think about the steps that involve the process, that involve the logistics in terms of getting all that mail. You're talking about hundreds of thousands of mail being transported globally and it reaching from point A to point B in an efficient, safe manner. So, yes, the post office is here to stay. We're relevant, and we will continue to evolve with the changing times. So I'd like to thank persons listening to the show, our loyal customers.
And I want to thank each of you for being able to take time out of your week of activities, marking World Post Day, which was observed on Monday, October 9th, annually, to come here on the program and to talk to us about the work that you do and how you are trying all the time to make sure you can meet the increasing demands and changing demands of the public and your customers. So thank you, gentlemen, so much. And I want to thank you, our listeners, for tuning in this and every Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. right here on ZIZ. It's aired live on ZIZ and Win FM and Sugar City Rock from 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. And there's a rebroadcast on Freedom FM and Vaughan Radio on Thursdays from 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. and again at 10:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. respectively, just in case you missed it on Wednesday. So thank you for joining us. This is the Working For You program. I was your host, Jacqueline Bryan, and it's a St. Kitts and Nevis Information Service production. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Working for you. A weekly talk radio program which highlights developments of national interest and the activities of your St. Kitts Nevis government. Join host Lesroy Williams as he presents news, views, reports, and interviews about everything regarding the activities of the Team Unity government and the building of our communities and the development of St. Kitts Nevis. Tune in and call in to interact with your government and share your views regarding the upward forward development of your community and our beautiful Twin Island Federation. Working for you is weekly, every Wednesday live from 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. on ZIZ Radio, Win FM, and Sugar City FM with rebroadcast on participating stations. Working for you.
Stay up to date with news, programs, and activities of the government with SKNIS. Like us on Facebook. Listen to us on SoundCloud. Follow us on Twitter. And watch our videos on YouTube. Connect with us today. SKNIS, St. Kitts and Nevis Information Service.